Hello and welcome to another episode of Boxing with Paul. And today, I'm very excited to bring you the iPhone 14 Pro Max. As usual, late to the party, only about a year and a half. Let's take a look at it. This phone launched and it was released, it retailed for $1,100 for the base model for the 128GB version. This time around, we have a 256GB version that's supposed to be fully unlocked if my coworker is not lying. Otherwise, we're gonna have to hunt them down and try to get our money back. As always, Apple, you guys always know I flip and love, and I'm such a fan of Apple's packaging because it's always so flippin' impeccable. If this is anything to go off of, if I don't know how close that comes off on the cameras, but literally what I've always loved about Apple is that even if you're a new user, even if you're not familiar with them at all, even if you have no idea where they're coming from, you can always just run your fingers along the outside, along the edges, and you're going to be able to feel the outline of the iPhone. Not just for the actual shape of it, but also for the actual buttons and even the power tab, which the silent vibrate button, which is crazy to me. It's true to size. It's literally exactly just as big as your normal iPhone is going to be. So in theory, you could always take your old iPhone and put it right next to it, put it right on top of it, or put it side to side, and be able to see just how much bigger or how much smaller your current iPhone is compared to this newer model, which usually 9 times out of 10 is just a little bit smaller. But that's okay, we won't tell anybody, all right? I've been putting this off for a couple of weeks, so let's go ahead and finally crack the seals open. But as of recently, if I'm not mistaken, ever since the iPhone 12 and above, Apple switched over to more eco-friendly packaging, which means that they use a little more paper instead of plastic, especially in the screen coverings, especially in the overall covering of their devices. And you guys were able to see the peel. It was a paper peel. It used to be a plastic peel with that cellophane wrapping all over it. It felt like you were getting some cookies or some crackers. It's no longer a cellophane peel because there's no need for your iPhone to be airtight because it's already waterproof, all right? They had to help it a little bit, but oh man, that is hot. This is that. Wait, what color is this again? That deep purple? I don't know if it was just regular purple, lavender purple, or deep purple, but oh god. This purple is just We just opened it. We're literally looking at the back of it, and I'm already a fan. It's kind of like when you're in a club and I'm gonna shut up. Let's keep going. In the box, we get, again, the phone itself, which we are going to put aside for right now. This is the last time around. This is going to be the last generation of iPhones that you are going to be seeing with that pesky proprietary cable that we have been having ever since that iPhone 5. Now, when it came out, this thing was amazing, and it was great because it was a much smaller connector. And it went face up, it went face down, just like you at night when you're trying to crawl into your bed. It doesn't matter which way you go in, you're just trying to get in there, all right? But it's outdated. It's been around for such a long time. I think when the iPhone 5 came out, I was either still in college or I was just barely getting to college. I must have been 19, 20. This is a long time ago. This has been around for well over 10 years. We should have been upgraded from this a long time ago. And I'm sorry for all of you guys, and I'm sorry from Apple, and I'm sorry just in general that it took us this long to upgrade because Apple should have really gone with the program a long time ago. Long story short, last time around, you guys are going to be seeing this time the Apple Lightning to Type-C connector, because from now on, it's going to be Type-C to Type-C. But as you guys already know, I'm not going to get too much in details, but on the regular iPhone, And it's going to be a 2.0 speed, which is flipping ridiculous if you ask me, because it's 2024. And then on the Pro models, you're going to have that USB 3.0 speed. But even then, that's still slow, especially when the iPhone Pro Max models are able to put out RAW files. Those really, really nice, high quality images, especially when we get into that 4K. You're able to shoot, if I'm not mistaken, 4K 24 frames per second RAW, which are just huge files that are going to take a million flipping years to come out, especially at 2.0 or even 3.0 speeds. We should have much higher speeds. All we get now is, I think, a little bit of legal, and we get a notice telling us that you no longer need a physical SIM card. Activate your eSIM during iPhone setup. And again, it's just a nice little card to let you guys know that you're facing a new day, a new age, where we are having eSIM only. We also get, again, legal and safety, which is very sparing, just letting you know that obviously, you know, it's compatible with hearing aids. It's a class 1 laser product. Don't eat it, don't swallow it, don't put it straight to your eyes. Just normal stuff. You still get an Apple sticker. Now, mind you, it's just one, okay? Back in the day, man, kids used to beat each other up for these. You understand how far we've come to where these are no longer seen at school. Back in the day, having an Apple sticker was the flipping coolest thing you could flip and have, especially on your skateboard or on your Bluetooth speaker or on your binder. Oh my God. Best, highest honor you could have. But nowadays, they're relegated just to, I don't know, either very little kids or people who just don't know any better. But this time around, we're going to have a 6.7 inch 1290 by 2796 OLED 120 hertz, always on display. One last thing is that we do have the dynamic island, which is a very nifty piece of not just hardware but also software. That's what really Apple wants you to think of it as. And just be aware that it's its own thing. I know people try to copy it. I know a lot of other companies and a lot of other manufacturers try to copy it, but it's its own thing with not only its own haptics but also its own physics engine. It has its own graphics cores that do the job of it. We're going to have the same stainless steel frame as the iPhone 13. So that's another really big thing that I also wanted you guys to understand. The reason why I got this is because from the 13 to the 15, there's virtually zero difference, okay? I will tell you guys, I think the 4 or 5 differences that you have this time around, okay? Crash detection. What we also have this time around is actually satellite connectivity. This time around, we also have the lack of a SIM card, okay? This is the very first time, okay, that Apple has gone ahead and finally upgraded the camera sensor. We have been having the same 12 megapixel lens since the iPhone 6S. The main thing is that now we're able to do 4K RAW in this phone, okay? And we got a camera upgrade. It's going to be shooting at 48 megapixels versus 12. Let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on this, of course? I really don't think that we need to go ahead and go to the 15. At least not yet. Maybe on the 16 we get 4K RAW at 60 frames per second. Or 8K RAW at 24 frames per second. Okay? And as always, thanks for watching.